Hello viewer, I'm back again. I'm live on location right now. Well, maybe not live, but I'm recording this on location. I'm not in my country where my congregation is. For those of you joining me from before and you've watched my past 2 videos, thank you so much. And thank you if you are a new person that's joining in right now. I'll do a little introduction of who I am. I can't tell you my name because everything is confidential on this channel. I am a pastor, and I created this channel because I too need someone to talk to. I need to get things off of my chest. I have a huge congregation and I speak to people worldwide. Sometimes the confessions of some deeds that were very dirty that people did are confessed to me. Not only me, some of these stories also come from my friends. Now, so far I'm on the 3rd story, and they're all my stories, but I'll be getting to more stories in the future because there are a lot of pastors that I have met in the 40 years of me doing minister work, and they all want to get something up off their chest too. They have appreciated the past 2 videos and they're looking forward to sharing. All right. Without any further ado, let's get into today's story. Today's story is a little bit scary, as they all are. But this one was about a guy that I met many years ago. Now, I used to do some missionary work in different countries. I'm not going to say the name of the country, but I ended up going to this one country and there was a guy, and he considered himself Jesus. Now, this is more common than what most people would know. There are a lot of people out there who feel that they are Jesus reincarnated. This man felt this way, and he felt as if his family was in danger. Now, he came to me and another pastor. We were traveling around and I wasn't based there for very long. My partner, he was there for quite a while. And he had dealt with this guy in the past. But I hadn't ever dealt with anything like this before, and so it was quite interesting to me at first. This guy, who thought he was Jesus, knew the Bible inside out. He was raised in a regular religious family, nothing too much over the top. They would go to church during special occasions like Christmas, and they would make sure they attended Mass every now and again. They were Catholics, and that was about it. But this one young man fell in love with the Bible, and he felt that he was Jesus Christ. Now, a lot of people and his community were hard on him, just like they were hard on Jesus Christ back in the day in the Bible. And they said to him, "What makes you think you're Jesus Christ?" So they would break bad on him, pretty much. They would insult him, they would laugh at him, and he always carried his Bible. And he always went to church, and he was always a good guy. Never got himself into any problems, never disrespected anyone in the community, but he would always push the fact on people that he is the Son of God. A lot of people, they just would get used to it. Some people, like I said, they would tease him, and it was more his peers that would tease him, and his peers were not kids. He was a man, a working man, going to work, had a full-time job. You know, he'd go to the bar every now and again, and he would preach in the bar. And people would say to him, "Why are you having drinks in the bar then if you're Jesus?" And he'd be like, Jesus, back in the Bible, also had drinks in the bar with people. He drank wine, and the guys in the bar would laugh at him and mock him and be like, whatever. And then every time he would speak to people, he would always use a Bible phrase. And so a lot of people, they just kind of would turn a blind eye and whatever, that's just him. And eventually he started to become very severely transitioned. By the time I had seen him, because I saw past photos of him, and by the time I had seen him, he looked older than his age, decrepit. He had almost a hump on his back. The photos that I had seen of him in the prior years when he was younger and holding his Bible and really preaching the word, it looked like he was really a GQ man. He could have been a model on magazines, very handsome, dapper. But when I had seen him, like I said, he was not very clean, and his hair was greasy, and he looked very much like he was playing the martyr role, and he also was looking very not only unkempt, but also tired, heavy bags under his eyes. And I sat down with him, and he said to me that he's tired of living, and he wants to go home. And I mentioned to him that this is a very common feeling. A lot of people want to give up. They want to go home. They're not following their soul's direction. It could be that maybe they have a certain mineral they're lacking. They're not necessarily depressed. There are a lot of people who are considered depressed and they take medication, but they're just missing a certain hormone or a certain mineral, or they're eating too much of one kind of food or not eating anything of the certain food that's best for their blood type. And it goes on and on and on because we have been stripped of simple basic education for human beings. So, now many of us are misdiagnosed. Now, with this being said, I'm not a doctor, I'm a pastor. But this young man seemed like he needed a doctor. Not necessarily medication, but a break from his everyday. And if he went to the beach and maybe got some alkaline food and got some sun, maybe something would change, but he ended up doing something that was so horrible that nobody in the world would ever think any human would do, especially not someone claiming to be Jesus. So, all of a sudden, when him and I were chit-chatting, he was telling me about some of his premonitions, and he was telling me about the world, and a lot of his premonitions about the world were very deep, very scary, very dark, very dismal, a lot of despair. And I said to him, you should really start meditating on different types of images for your brain, for your third eye. The inside of your skull right there, by your temple, between your two eyes, is like the inside is like a TV screen when you close your eyes. If you only envision and imagine darkness and negativity, then that is what the vibration of the universe is going to bring you, I told him. Well, he said, thank you. He said, thank you. I think I needed that. That kind of shifted something in my brain. And I said, really? And he said, yes, it shifted something. I feel like I have something to hold on to. And he said, can you say it again? And I told him again. And I told him that he needs to start doing things more for his spirit. Pay attention to himself when he's in the shower. Imagine the water is healing. Imagine that, as you're walking, you can feel the muscles in your legs, I told them, and the muscles are doing such a beautiful, good job for you. And he was like, yeah, because he had to start from bottom up. He didn't have a job. He was living with his parents. He had no money. He was preaching the Bible, But he was preaching that he was Jesus, and a lot of people didn't respect that, and many people looked at it as blasphemy. So it didn't really work in his favor, and so a lot of people just wanted to be rid of him. This took a huge toll on him, because he felt that he was being disgraced. Well, one night, many months after I spoke to him, I was off into another area, exploring a different place, doing some ministry work, and my buddy contacted me and told me that this young boy did away with him and his entire family. Now his mum, she was a stay-at-home mum. She was someone that would go to church every now and again, but was a very good mother. So where did this young man get this type of behavior? His father, a dad, working man, provider, and his sister in university, but still at home as she was studying. A family that seemed to have it all. Close, loving. All their life they went camping. They did special adventures and excursions and vacations, and they were a very happy family. But this one young man got it into his head that he was Jesus and crucified his whole family. You'll never believe how he had them laying in their beds. Instead of nailed to a cross, he had his sister with her arms tied to each bedpost and her feet tied together, tied to the bottom bedpost, to the footboard, if you understand what I mean. So her hands were tied to the headboard, one on each side, and her feet were tied together to the footboard. His mother and his father, they were holding hands in bed. One of their hands, the father's left arm, was tied to a headboard. The mother's right arm was tied to the headboard as they held hands in bed, their feet tied together, and ultimately tied to the footboard. So they were all in the shape of a cross. This was a very sad situation. And him himself, he hung himself from the basement rafters. And he did it on a cross. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in life, it is very important for us to understand what the process of living is. Even if somebody does feel specially blessed, they feel they are on a higher plane than another person, than the average person that, say, is on social media or they see on the street. It's still important to humble thyself. You don't need to go out in the street and brag and preach about who you think you are. People will mock you and try to destroy you. It is important for you to stay humble, for you to be one with yourself, and whatever kindness you can give people, whatever guidance you can give people and advice, or just simple help by being present, do it from the kindness of your heart and not from a position of feeling that you are above. Remember, those who exalt themselves shall surely be humbled. Thank you so much, my YouTube family, for watching this video and for indulging in my channel with me. I am enjoying you so much, and remember, I'm not able to tell you who I am. My identity right now, it needs to be concealed, but I am certainly enjoying who you are. Thank you very much. And this platform is not only for me, it's also for others that want to explore and understand the world of human nature so we can pray for each other. This is the reason that these stories need to be told, so we can pray for the people involved and lift each other up in prayer. Thank you so much for watching my channel, for spending time with me. You are truly amazing. And not only that, I must tell you, I will be note a different story, and that one is going to be pretty racy. It's going to be about somebody from the mafia who came to see me many years ago. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, you are an amazing soul. You may not have everything you want right now. You may not be where you want to be in life, but you are not 6 feet under. You are alive. So please, take your breath, take your step, and make your move. Thank you so much. Please take a moment to subscribe. Have yourself a blessed day.